Hey there, welcome to the Mountain of God. My name is Camille. Today is 16th of June 2021. Welcome to video number 44. Today I want to talk about advanced training. I want to talk about things that your father might take you through just to train you even more, especially if there's a bigger calling on over your head, and you will need much more sophisticated training than just simple normal Christian would have to go through, just because of what is awaiting for what he wants you to do. So I want to talk about it because many times people are not talking about it, and many times that causes some of us who are going through something like this to be kind of concerned and not understanding what's going on. That's why I want to talk about it, to talk about those three things that I find that are happening in lives of people. Even if you look at the Bible, tons of people went through that, because not only help you to understand that maybe this is it, maybe that's why it's happening in your life, and even more to help you ask the right questions when you understand it. So the three things that I want to talk about. This thing will happen if you require some more special training, that you're not just like a normal Christian. If God needs you to be closer to Him than you are right now, He might go through one of those three things. First of all, He might ask you to do something crazy. He might put you in a position that you'll find yourself in a situation that is going to be completely outside of your comfort zone. And it will do at least few things for you. There's tons of reasons why he might do this. Few of them being, one, you really, before you're going to do something crazy, you really ask, is that you're supposed to do? You'll ask after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, just to be sure that what you're going to do, it's something that he wants you to do. And this is a good thing, because it'll push you towards really concentrate and focus to listen and to get all the information you need to proceed. And it'll get you to the point that even though so many people, even the closest people to you, your family, will tell you you're crazy, your God will never ask you to do this, you'll say, listen, he confirmed that like so many times that I just know that I have to do this. And you're going to do it. And you see, one of the perfect situations or examples of that is Noah. You want me to do what? Build a ship? In the middle of nowhere? Here? There's no water here. Why would I build it here? You know what I'm saying? This is exactly the situation. And the moment you know that you have to do it, even though it's crazy, even though people will go against you, you're going to do it just because you learned to listen enough to know that you have to do it. Second thing second thing in this first example is that you might need to have things in your life in the right. You'll have to need the right priorities. And that's why when your father is going to teach you to do this crazy things, you'll start to look at him, not at yourself. Because the crazy situation that you're gonna put yourself in, or he'll put you in, you'll require for you to listen to what he's saying. But the best part is, at the end of the day, when you start to see when all of these things will just fall into place, you'll say, oh, okay, I get it now. And if you pay enough attention to what's going on, the more crazy the experience, the more focused I would suggest you to be. Because then you'll start to see that if your priorities are straight, to look what he's doing, why he asked me to do this crazy thing, you'll start to see that so many other people will say, crazy thing happened to me and I ended up here. He asked me to do something completely outside of my comfort zone, and now it falls into place with what you've been asked to do. Now it works. And now Noah is saying why this whole thing happened. The others, like in a much smaller scale, I heard this story, maybe you heard it as well. I don't really remember how it exactly went, but it was something like the pastor was asked by father to ride the bike on a stage during the service. And he said, well, why would I do this? This is like a crazy idea. Why? And I think this whole story was said from the perspective of the person who was sitting in the church. And this was unbeliever or someone who just came and said, I would believe in God if the pastor would ride on a bike on a stage. And in that moment, he just starts riding on the stage. And this person is just saying, whoa, what's going on? Crazy thing. But then this person, as far as I remember, this person gave his life to Jesus. And that's why, this whole story kind of seen the light of day. But you see, this is one of the things that you may not understand why you were asked to do something like this, but he knows. That's why don't ask questions. Don't try to get yourself out of the situation. If he says that it's needed, someone else will need it. One more situation I can tell you from my life is that one of my friends, when I talked with her in it was like a late evening, January in Ireland. We talked about God and she just was interested in all of it. And I said, listen, don't look at me. I'm just a messenger. If you want to get in touch with your father, ask him to do something for you to confirm that he exists. That's that simple. And she, in January in Ireland, when it was raining, like really bad weather for anything that is alive, she asked to see a butterfly. And I didn't know it. She just talked to him on her own time. The next day, because it was evening, the next day she came to me and she said, you know what happened? The friend that I'm here with, he said, oh, look, have you seen the butterfly? Said, wait, what? You see, this is the whole point. Whether he asks you something to do something, or you can ask him, there's nothing that he cannot do. There's nothing that he is outside of his comfort zone. Even more, because many times I had this feeling that he does or asks you to do crazy things just because to prove to you and everybody else that he can. And even more, when you start to focus and see when everything falls into place at the end of this whole experience, you start to see that it is genius. This whole idea was perfect to prove to everyone who was involved that he knows what he's doing, that he's a master of the game. And if you pay attention, you'll start to see there's even more layers to all of this, or more layers of meaning to many other people. So there's always be more at play that you think or see. You just see or do just a small part of this whole experience. Second thing that your father might do to you when he'll train you in this advanced training, he'll take away from you the thing which you love the most. You see, whether you're building generational wealth, you're building your company for your children or children of your children, maybe you've got family that you spend all your life to build. Maybe this is your husband, maybe this is your wife, maybe your kids. You see, there might be a moment when Dad will decide to take it away from you. And if you're in a situation when you don't know, when, let's say someone close to you, someone that you love, it's taken from you, if you don't know if they're going to the place that you're going to meet them, maybe that's, if you see that, we've got this kind of person, it's good to pray for them and do everything you can for them to get saved. But if they are saved, if they're, that even if they die, you'll meet them, then I want you to understand that this is experience that he is doing for a reason. There's not just he's playing with you. He just wants to punish you for something or something else. Many times he'll do it just because this person or this thing is so important for you that it's in between you and your father. That might be one of the many reasons. But you see, you'll never be able to enjoy, you'll never be able to kind of use is a bad word, but you may never be able to feel fulfillment of doing this thing, being with this thing, or being with this person or this people, if you not have a right priorities in your relationship with your Father. And many times you'll be asked to be split just because He'll have to help you to mature, help you to get much more adult in how you think, in how you act. So you'll be able to get to the point that you'll be mature enough to be in a relationship as you're supposed to be with your Father, to do what you're supposed to do. And then he'll bring back this thing or this people into your life. Just because then you'll be able to enjoy and really have the great relationship or great enjoyment of this thing. But when you have the right priorities and life in the right balance. But I would say that the point number 3 is even tougher than the previous two. Because many times God will not just take something from you or take someone from you. The toughest thing that will happen is when He'll come and He'll ask you to give it away out of your own free will. And many times you will feel that maybe it would be easier for Him just to take it without asking me. But this is the whole point. You want to be trained. You want your trust to be tested. You want to see how much you believe that He knows what He's doing. The moment He'll come and ask you for you to give Him the thing that you love the most, then you'll understand. If you don't understand until now, then you'll understand what does it mean to feel like you're dying. Because to give away things that you love more than your own life, it will feel like part of you, you'll have to give it away. It's like your own life, your own love is leaving you. You feel completely empty. Then you understand, even though we don't really understand until we will die, what does it mean to die? But it feels like you are dying. Like inside your life just ended. But the most important thing is to understand why. And there are three things that we supposed to understand until now, because I talked about it, and now we can talk about those 3. Just because if we understand this 3 things about Him, it will be much easier to understand why this whole thing happened, why it matters. First of all, I always say that God, one of the major lessons, at least that I got in my life, is that nothing really ever ends. So many times you think that it's gone, it's going to be taken away and I'm never going to get it back. Why would God take something that you love and never give you back? And this is exactly coming back to what I said before. That maybe you need to grow up to be able to enjoy the thing or the people or the person that you love so much. Because you need the right priorities, and He'll need to put you in a position so you'll be able to do what you're supposed to do. And then in the right context, from this position that you have this relationship with Him on the right level, then He can give you back the thing, give you back the people, the person, and now you'll be able to enjoy it. And from your position right here, right now, you'll say, yeah, now I can enjoy it because now I've got, my priorities straight. But then the second thing, many times we feel that time, like we're losing time. There's no enough time. You see, if you understand that God is looking at your life, and you're supposed to look at your life as well from perspective of eternity, there's more time than you can ever imagine. There's literally limitless time. That's why I said, if you know that the person that you're with or the thing, there's going to be in the kingdom of God, then there's nothing to be afraid of. They've got plenty of time, more than you can even imagine and understand. But doesn't mean that you've got so much time. So look at what is happening, and the thing that you've been asked to give away from perspective of eternity, and you'll start to see He knows what He's doing. It means that I'm going to get to the point, I'm going to get it back, And then I'm going to be able to enjoy it for a whole eternity from a right perspective, being the right, mature enough person. And then point number 3, everything that God does is good. Everything. That is why I want you to, even if you try to look at it from a short-term perspective, from your life perspective here, understand that whatever He does is going to end up well. At the end of the day, you'll start to look back and say, now I get it. I understand it had to happen because now when I'm the completely different person, now I can see that it was needed. I would never get here, and we would never get here, and my life would never be here if I would not been asked and give the thing that I loved so much, to give it away, at least for this period of time. So you see, this is what I want you to take from this video. If you're not just like a simple Christian, if you're a soldier, Dad will train you and get you through advanced training, and it will require from you doing some crazy things that will really require you to pay attention, to talk to Him, to ensure that you know what you're doing, because it's going to take you out of your comfort zone, a long way from your comfort zone. Many times He will take the things that you love just to help you to mature, help you to see from different perspective, help you to trust Him, help you to see that when you have nothing more, no one can blackmail you, your enemy has nothing against you. When you trust Him with everything, there's nothing you try to hold on. You say, my Dad will deal with anything He needs. If He'll need to feed me, He'll send the birds to feed me. If He'll need to move me from place to place, He's just gonna do it. There's nothing He cannot do. And then it's a completely different game. But even more, if He'll come to you and ask you to give Him the thing that you love more than your own life, and you feel like you're dying, you'll be able to do it just because you know that nothing really ever ends. That whatever He does, He looks at it from a perspective of eternity. There's more than enough time. And even more, whatever He is asking you to do, He's doing because whatever He does is good, and He knows what He's doing. So think about it and do something about it. Because if you're a soldier, not just simple Christian, because if you are special forces and you need special forces type of training, even if it'll hurt, trust Him and understand those 3 things that I talk about Him. Because at the end of the day, you will see that He is a genius, that He knows what He's doing, and that He had to test you this way to help you grow up. Because at the end of the day, you'll look at it from the person that you become, the place that you were led to, the calling that you were drawn and called to. You will say, now I get it. And it was worth it. Even though it required for me to let go. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to talk about it for you. That being said, see you in the next video.